We are ranking the top 10 superhero transformations in movie history, judging by pure spectacle, emotional impact, and lasting cultural legacy. From body-melting horror and agonizing experiments to reality-shattering awakenings and the most iconic power-ups ever filmed, each spot captures a bold new way to become superhuman. Some moments will haunt you, others will inspire. Which transformation takes the ultimate top spot? Let's kick things off with number 10. Number 10 kicks things off with a transformation straight out of a nightmare. Johnny Blaze, a stunt rider desperate enough to bargain with the devil, pays the price in one of the most unforgettable scenes in superhero movies. His skin peels away in layers, burning like paper, until all that is left is a screaming skull wreathed in flames. Sony Imageworks built their own fire simulation pipeline just for this sequence, using Houdini and a custom RenderMan shader to get every lick of CG fire right. The effect is so intense, even the bike is not spared. Frame by frame, it twists and mutates into the skeletal hell cycle, complete with bone-like grips. Director Mark Steven Johnson pushed the horror as far as the PG-13 rating would allow, making Ghost Rider debut a raw spectacle of digital body horror. It is a transformation that is impossible to forget, even if the narrative stakes keep it locked at number 10. Wade Wilson's shot at survival comes wrapped in the world's worst science experiment. Locked inside a grimy hyperbaric chamber, he is forced to endure round after round of oxygen deprivation, each session meant to jumpstart a mutant gene. The process is torture. His skin bubbles, peels, and scars as his body tries to heal faster than it is being destroyed. Digital Domain blended prosthetics and computer-generated effects to create every layer of ruined skin, making the pain look as real as it feels. The whole ordeal is laced with Deadpool's trademark gallows humor, but the punchline is cruel. Immortality comes at a hideous cost. Fan-leaked test footage set the tone for this R-rated, darkly funny origin, and it cemented Deadpool as the anti-hero who literally laughs through the agony. Stephen Strange's transformation is not about muscles or scars, it is about blowing the mind wide open. When the Ancient One launches his astral form out of his body, the world fractures into impossible shapes, and reality itself turns inside out. Framestore led over 300 artists to build this psychedelic journey, using fractal algorithms and hand-animated morphs to send Strange spinning through cell structures, cosmic vistas, and infinite kaleidoscopic tunnels. The entire sequence looks and feels like a living hallucination, with a color grade that pushes the limits of what has been seen in superhero movies. The moment the cloak of levitation wraps around him, almost playfully, it is clear he has crossed into a new dimension, one where power is about perception, not brute force. Thor's redemption isn't about brute strength or flashy combat, it's about finally learning humility. Banished to Earth, stripped of his powers, he faces the Destroyer with nothing but his own life to offer. Instead of fighting back, Thor steps between the machine and his friends, ready to die for them. That act of sacrifice is what changes everything. In a split second, Mjolnir rockets through the sky, slamming into his hand with a crack of thunder. Lightning erupts, and Thor's armor flashes onto him in a single, electrifying moment. No slow build, just instant transformation. Director Kenneth Branagh and the VFX team at Digital Domain combined practical stunts, on-set lighting, and digital lightning to make the return of the God of Thunder feel both mythic and immediate. The original fight was cut down to focus on this moment, making worthiness the real superpower. That is why Thor's transformation lands at number 7. It is not just about regaining power, but proving he deserves it. Carol Danvers' breakthrough isn't just a power-up, it's a full reclamation of self. When the Kree implant on her neck finally snaps, years of suppressed memory and stolen agency come flooding back. Industrial Light and Magic's effects team built the moment as a living supernova. Carol's body erupts in waves of tesseract blue light, her eyes burning with cosmic energy, every frame wrapped in a digitally simulated aura that pulses and flickers like a star. The sequence was rewritten late in production to center Carol's own choice. She rises not because someone else allows it, but because she decides who she is. The binary form, with its shimmering heat haze and glowing fists, gives a direct nod to her comic roots while tying her power to her own identity. The result is pure cinematic empowerment, an anthem of memory, agency, and the kind of spectacle only a hero who is finally free can deliver. Nothing in superhero cinema is as instantly recognizable or as purely satisfying as Christopher Reeve's classic shirt rip in Superman. There is no CGI, no digital trickery, just a perfectly timed gesture honed through weeks of practice. Costume designer Yvonne Blake engineered the breakaway button so the shirt would tear cleanly every time, protecting that iconic S shield for the big reveal. Reeve approached the move with the precision of a fencer, rehearsing the stance and timing until it became a single, fluid motion. 3 seconds, one take, pure movie magic. The moment Clark Kent ducks into an alley, glances around, and tears open his shirt is not just a costume change. It is a cultural shorthand for transformation, parodied and memed for over 40 years. This is proof that sometimes simplicity wins out over spectacle, a practical effect that made generations believe a man could fly. No other superhero origin hits with the clinical brutality of Wolverine's Weapon X procedure. Logan is strapped down, his body pierced by a rig of steel needles, each one pumping molten adamantium straight into his bones. Weta Digital built custom prosthetic rigs for these shots, layering real metal tubing over Hugh Jackman's skin to sell the agony. The camera lingers on his face as he thrashes and screams. Jackman endured take after take, pushing his voice to the edge until the crew had more footage of his suffering than they could ever use. Early edits showed even more gore, but Fox trimmed the worst to keep the MPAA from slapping the film with an R rating. The transformation ends with blood in the water and the first feral snicked as Logan's claws slice through the pain. It's not a heroic moment. It is trauma forged in a lab, the cost of power etched into flesh and memory. Steve Rogers steps into the Project Rebirth chamber as the smallest guy in the room, but with the biggest heart. Dr. Erskine says that Steve is not a perfect soldier, but a good man, as the machine hisses shut around him. The Vita Ray lights flare, bathing Steve in a blinding glow while the serum courses through his veins. His screams fill the lab, the tension rising with every dial turned. Industrial Light and Magic's digital wizardry blends Chris Evans' face onto a body double for pre-serum Steve, then swaps seamlessly to the real Evans as the pod unlocks. The reveal is pure movie magic. A scrawny kid transformed into the peak of human potential, not by luck, but by virtue. The camera lingers on the stunned faces of everyone watching, proof that courage and character have been rewarded with strength. The violence is softened for a PG-13 crowd, but the emotional impact lands hard. This is the birth of a symbol, and the moment Steve Rogers truly becomes Captain America. Tony Stark never settles for ordinary, especially when it comes to making an entrance. The Mark V suitcase armor from Iron Man 2 isn't just a suit up, it's a flex of pure mechanical genius under fire. Seconds after Ivan Vanko's whips slice the Monaco racetrack, Stark grabs what looks like a regular briefcase. But with a few practiced moves, the case unfolds, panels snapping and sliding, locking into place over his body with the precision of a luxury watch. Underneath the spectacle, there is real engineering at play. Legacy Effects built a practical prop with folding metal plates, choreographed to match Robert Downey Jr.'s movements. ILM then layered over 500 digital parts, animating each piece to assemble in real time around Stark's frame. The whole sequence became an instant meme, setting a new bar for how cool a transformation could look without a single drop of body horror. This is superhero style at its most playful, flashy, fast, and unmistakably Stark. Bruce Banner's transformation at Culver University is pure cinematic dread. The sequence starts with a pulse meter climbing, each beep echoing the panic in Banner's chest as soldiers close in. Edward Norton's performance is captured in every twitch, his body racked with pain as the change begins. Rhythm and Hughes built the transformation in stages, blending motion capture, prosthetics for close-ups, and full anatomical computer-generated effects to make the process feel agonizingly real. Skin stretches, veins bulge, and bones crack with a sound design that is all splintering cartilage and tearing muscle. No music, just the horrifying symphony of a body breaking itself apart. The transformation drags out for over a minute and a half, the camera refusing to cut away as Banner's body distorts, his spine and jaw jutting at impossible angles. Early animatics pushed the gore even further, but the studio trimmed them to dodge an R rating. The final version still pushes the PG-13 limit, every detail designed to make the audience wince. This is not a triumphant power-up, it is a monster clawing its way out. The result is the most terrifying, visceral superhero transformation ever put on film, one that fuses technical craft, raw performance, and the high cost of power into a single, unforgettable moment. Across all 10 superhero transformations, one truth stands out. True power is born from struggle, sacrifice, or self-acceptance, not just special effects. These moments resonate because they mirror real journeys of change. In the end, becoming a hero means confronting and embracing what sets us apart. Which transformation sticks with you?